afternoon, teachers. This is going to be a bilingual informational video that will have important information that you will need this year. Let's get started. In this video, we will be talking about getting to know your students and where to find information about your students, linguistic instructional accommodations, IRIs and running records, the LPAC yearly training, and teacher and parent resources. Getting to know your students. Here you see an EL roster. As you can see from before, the EL roster is a little bit different. At the top on the right, you see a legend which gives us what each code means. The EL roster will contain your students' information to include their personal ID number, the grade level, and their EL indicator. You will also be able to see what program your student is in. But most importantly, you will be able to see whether or not your students are in the bilingual program and have accepted services or have declined. Here, this student right here has a C, which means this student's parents have declined bilingual services. The second student here has a D as their program. That means the student has accepted services. You will be able to see their English and Spanish levels. And if we have any LPAC information, you will be able to see their scores from last year. If any of your students have an asterisk next to the LPAC scores, all that means is that they didn't take a LPAC test last school year. For our 4th and 5th graders, you will be able to see any STAR testing information if they took their STAR test, along with the language of testing, and if they passed or not. You will be able to see the home language and the native language that is spoken at home, and then how long the student has been in the United States. Other information that you will be able to see here is whether your student has a 504 or receives any special education services. You will be receiving a folder with an EL roster for your class, and it will be updated as needed. Some of you may have a full class right now and will keep the same students the whole school year, so your EL roster will never change. Some of you will have students coming in and out, and those teachers will be getting an EL roster when we see a change in there. If you have a student in your class that is not on your EL roster and you are not sure whether they are a bilingual student or not, please let us know. Like that, we can find that information and we have proper placement for the students. You may have some students that are not bilingual and they are still in your classroom, and that's okay. But like that, you know, you don't have to give them bilingual services. Where to find student information? There's 3 important places where you can find this information. And one is the EL roster, like I showed you already. The next place is in Frontline. You will go to Frontline through your portal. Go to Frontline Special Education and Interventions. You will see the archive and go to Archive Manager. And here you can type in homeroom, and then on the other side you can type in your last name, or you can look up a student's name. I will use my child and look them up. So both Solórzano's pop up having an LPAC. Here I will click on Santiago, and then you will see here how the students have an LPAC folder from last year if they they were here last year. If they are new and if they have been LPAC, then you will see their LPAC information. If you click in that last folder, you will be able to see for the students again that were here last year, the end of the year LPAC and the recommendation for that student. So here the student is to continue the program. So that's where you can find LPAC information for your class. The other place where you can find information about your student, whether they are bilingual or not, if you go into CMS through your portal. I'm going to be using the same student. And in the student overview, sorry about that, student overview, you can scroll down a little bit and you will be able to see whether your student is a LEP student and if there's any other services that your student might get. Okay? The next thing we will be talking about is the linguistic instructional accommodations. And I will be sending out a link to the instructional accommodations. And we ask that you refer to this document to plan for instruction or small group support according to language needs. And here you can mark that off by grading period. The next thing I will show you will be the bilingual student data sheet. And this mainly, this can be used by lower grades, but it mainly pertains to 4th and 5th grade this year for the language of STAR testing for this year. So if you do have a student that is receiving Spanish instruction and you see that they are working well in English as well, you can use this form to collect data in order to make that change when we do have a meeting. Now remember, we cannot just switch students over from one language to another. This needs to be discussed at our LPAC meeting, and the committee will help decide whether the new language is best for our students. So please keep your information, keep your data, take your data, keep copies of any assessments, anything you want to show us when we have that meeting at the end of the year. The next thing we will be talking about is IRIs and running records. The district has asked for all dual language students for them to be given the IRIs in both languages. Like that, we can see how the students are making progress in each language. So we do ask that that is completed. Ms. Castellano and I will be helping out with a language of the teacher's choice to administer one of these tests. We will be sending out a form where you can sign up, and like that we can help out with that. When we report the levels in the report cards, we do ask that the language of instruction to be reported in the reading level box in the report card, and then the other language, that level to be reported in the comment box of the report card. Just the way we did last year for those of you that were here last year and that tested in both languages. That's how we're going to do it. For our transition program, those teachers, again, that have those students that we see they are making progress in English, and if you are thinking it can possibly be a student that can transition to take the STAR test in English, we ask that you also test them in both languages so we can start seeing how those students are progressing as well. Again, the IRI levels, the language of instruction will be put in the report card reading level box, and the other language will be in the comment box. The LPAC yearly training. A couple of weeks ago, I sent you an email about the LPAC yearly training. We do have some teachers that have already completed this, but again, the district has asked that this training is to be completed yearly. It is about an hour long. I made a video for this as well, and you have a small little, I think, 2-question assessment after each module. So please complete this by September 29th. Once you are done, turn in a copy of your certificates so I can file them in the LPAC binder. The next thing I will be talking about are teacher and parent resources. For teacher resources, right now I have here www.people.com, which is a translating website. I know some of y'all might like to use Google Translate, but just so you can know that we do have other websites that do good translations for us. This next one, and I will be adding this into our monthly newsletter, is an acentos sheet, and what this has is just the different codes for the accents and for any punctuation that you might need for when typing in Spanish. The next one is Reading A to C. Just so you can know, those of you that are new in Reading A to C, you do have Spanish resources available. There's books in Spanish. There's little assessments that are available for us in Spanish as well, and these are all leveled. If you have any questions about Reading A to C or how to access it, please let Yadira Castellano or myself know, and we can help you out on how to access Reading A to Z. The next one is parent resources. It has some really good links for parents. So I'm going to go into the school website, or the district website, I'm sorry, and scroll all the way down until you find district programs. And in here, we are going to scroll again down to Bilingual and ESL. And then go to the fourth little section, parent support links. And this is something you can pass on to parents. There's just different activities, different websites with ideas on things to do with the students. Okay? As always, if you have any questions, here is our contact information. My name is Sonia Solorzano, and then we have Yadira Castellano. For those of you that have not met our new LST, this is our email addresses and our direct line to our room in C107. 210-397-2627. Please feel free to contact us. Thank you.